Welcome to Prove It or Lose It. I'm your host, Mackenzie Freeman, and we are back for episode 2. Today's contestants feature last week's winner, Rubarache Nembaware, Donovan Brown, Michael Ellis, and Isabel Mays. We'll start off today with last week's winner, Rubarache and Donovan. Rubarache, as last week's winner, I'll go ahead and start with your question. And your question is, which NBA team made the best trade and which NBA team made the worst trades?
Ooh, I like this question. I want to start by who I think made the worst trade. And I would say the Pistons, solely because they let go of Bajan B. And he was a solid player for the team. He averaged about 19 points per game. He's somebody that you just need and a leader, and he has experience within the NBA. So I feel like that's somebody that you should just never let go. So shout out to the Knicks for taking him because, he scored 22 points last night?
Yeah.
Crazy. But then my winner, I want to save it for last, was the Mavs. I'm so proud of the Mavs for taking in P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. Specifically, I'm excited for Daniel because the Mavs always need a big. One thing about them, they need somebody who's strong enough to handle it, rebound, and go. And one thing about him I like is he's not just a big, but he can also go court from court. So I'm happy that we have somebody who averaged about 8 rebounds per last season, something that I feel like can really do what the Mavs need, and we need a big. And I'm just excited for this season, really.
Yeah, and then I have a follow-up question. A couple of teams didn't make trades, such as the Lakers. In the Lakers' case, why do you think they didn't trade for anybody?
Yeah, a couple teams didn't make the trade, such as Lakers and the Bulls, too. I feel like the Lakers are such a touchy subject because they have talent, but it's just something that's not clicking for them not to succeed the way I feel like the Lakers should be succeeding. I feel like one reason maybe that they didn't make the trade is to keep that talent that they have now. Like, okay, we performed how we performed last season. We're going to keep the same guys, and we're going to see our mistakes and grow from that. So I'm hoping that they're taking that as a way and a learning opportunity from, okay, we're going to grow. And then having the same people, relationships, on-court relationship is very lethal when it comes to basketball. So having the same people, they should already be connecting at higher IQs than they were before.
Yeah, I think that's a great take there, Rubarache. Now, Donovan, you are up next. Who do you think will win the NBA MVP?
I think Luka Doncic will win the MVP this season. He's averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists this season. And he's only 24, so that's good. And he has helped the Dallas Mavs get to the 6th seed in the West over the Phoenix Suns. So that's why I think he'll be the MVP this season.
And then there's a lot of people you could argue that are competing for that MVP. So who do you think his biggest competition is if he isn't to get the MVP?
I'm going with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because he's averaging 31 points and he's helped the OKC get to the 2nd seed in the West. And for that team being that young, that's impressive.
Yeah, those were some great answers by Rubarache and Donovan. So when we come back, we will see what the other contestants bring to the table.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Welcome into Prove It or Lose It, Michael and Isabel. Today we're going to stick with the NBA for your guys' questions. Michael, you're going to go up first. What teams are your favorite now to win the Eastern and Western Conference?
I would say for the Western Conference, I would have to go with the Dallas Mavericks. After the trade deadline, they have yet to lose a game, and I think they have the best opportunity as of right now to win the Western Conference. And for the Eastern Conference, I would have to say the Boston Celtics, just because they have the best built team overall. And I honestly think they, with everything they have, they're just the best team in the NBA, and so they should easily win the East.
Yeah, the Celtics do look really good this season, but if they don't make it, if either team doesn't make it, what challenges do you see those two teams facing?
So I see for the Mavericks that if they don't make it, they're going to. It's going to be because it's too far along in the season for them to start winning all the games they need to win to become the first overall seed. And for the Celtics, it's just injuries. If any of their players get injured, or if something happens along the way to where they just start losing games, but I don't see that happening. So it's just injuries that they would have to deal with.
Yeah, I can see how that definitely would hurt the team. And then Isabel, our last contestant, it's time to get your thoughts. Your question is, do you think officiating in the NBA is at an all-time low?
I would say yeah. It just seems a little unfair. I think the referees are kind of, not very good with not playing favorites when it comes to teams, especially with, I think, the Lakers, in my opinion. They're fan favorites for everyone, and, kind of seeing the refs, have these missed calls for teams that, some may prefer more than others. It's just, it makes the game not very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and obviously, as a fan, I want to enjoy the game. So how do you think this officiating problem can be solved?
I think it was Anthony Davis that said that if refs make a missed call, that they should be fined, and I agree 100%. Do I think that all missed calls should be fined? No, not really, but I think the more important ones that could seriously cost a team a game or even their whole season, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, that does it here for our first round on Prove It or Lose It, and all the contestants move on to the next round. When we come back, one of our contestants will be eliminated, so stay with us. Welcome to our elimination round of Prove It or Lose It. In this round, our analysts will go head-to-head on trivia, and whoever gets the least amount correct will be eliminated. So buckle in and strap in as we start. The theme for this trivia is, are you a hooper? This means that all the trivia will relate to basketball in some form or fashion. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Isabel. Which team has the most appearances in the NBA Finals? Was it A, the Boston Celtics, B, the Los Angeles Lakers, C, the Miami Heat, or D, the Golden State Warriors?
The Lakers.
That is correct. It's the Lakers with 32 appearances. Question 2, Ruvarache, who is the only active NBA franchise with multiple finals appearances and no losses? Is it A, the Cleveland Cavaliers, B, the Boston Celtics, C, the Chicago Bulls, or D, the New York Knicks?
Oh, I gotta go with the Bulls.
That is correct.
Okay.
It was, in fact, the Bulls. Moving on to Michael, which player has the most career blocks in the final? Is it A, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, B, Bill Russell, C, Wilt Chamberlain, or D, LeBron James?
I'm going to have to go with Chamberlain.
That is incorrect. The correct answer was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Donovan, question 4. I know you're a basketball guy. This player had the most three-point field goals during one series of the finals. Was it A, Klay Thompson, B, Kyle Korver, C, Donovan Mitchell, or D, Steph Curry?
I'm going with the shooter, Steph Curry.
That is correct. Moving on to question number 5 and going back to Isabel. In women's college basketball, who holds the all-time scoring record? Is it A, Kelsey Plum, B, Caitlin Clark, C, Kelsey Mitchell, or D, Brittany Griner?
Caitlin Clark.
That is correct. She recently broke it up against Michigan. Moving on to Ruvarache. What team drafted Kobe Bryant? Was it A, the Charlotte Hornets, B, the Los Angeles Lakers, C, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or D, the Dallas Mavericks?
I don't know if this is like an obvious question. Oh my goodness. Okay, Lakers.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is the Charlotte Hornets. Michael, moving on to your question. In what year did Steve Nash play his first game with the Dallas Mavericks? Was it A, 1996, B, 1994, C, 1998, or D, 2001?
I'm going to have to go with 2001.
That is incorrect. It was 1998. And then, Donovan, we're back to you. How many personal fouls does it take to get ejected from an NBA basketball game? Is it A, 4, B, 5, C, 7, or D, 6?
6 fouls.
That is correct. Moving back to Isabel. Who won the dunk contest in 2016? Was it A, Zach LaVine, B, Aaron Gordon, C, Donovan Mitchell, or D, John Wall?
Aaron Gordon.
That is incorrect. It was actually his competitor, Zach LaVine, and I remember those days. It was such
Gordon
a good.
should have won, though.
It was such a good dunk contest. Ruvarache, your question is, who is the all-time assist leader in the NBA? Is it A, Jason Kidd, B, John Stockton, C, Steve Nash, or D, Chris Paul? I know it's a tough one. There's some good ballers.
They're so good. I'm like, I'm just gonna be biased. I'm just gonna say Kidd.
That is incorrect. It was John Stockton. Question 11, Michael. Who is the all-time leader in defensive rebounds in the NBA? Is it A, Kevin Garnett, B, Karl Malone, C, Dwight Howard, or D, Tim Duncan?
I'm going to have to go with Tim Duncan.
That is incorrect. The correct answer was Kevin Garnett. And to finish up our trivia section, Donovan, who was the first 16 seed to beat a number 1 seed in men's March Madness? Was it the University of Louisiana at Monroe, B, Farley Dickinson, C, UMBC, or D, Harvard?
I want to say the Louisiana.
That is incorrect. It was UMBC. So that does it here for our trivia round. And we're going to have to say bye to Michael as he got the most incorrect. But when we come back, we still have more analysts that have some stuff to talk about. So stay right with us.
What's wrong? Are you stuck in your paper?
Pretty much. I haven't written anything in like an hour.
Why don't you check out the Writing Center at UNT?
Well, how do I meet up with him?
All you have to do to make an appointment is visit the Writing Center's website and either call the number or email writingcenter@unt.edu. The appointment is 30 minutes long, and the trained tutors will be able to help with brainstorming, correcting grammar, ensuring clarity, and a wide range of services. They also do walk-in appointments.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna check him out.
So, when's this paper due?
30 minutes?
For more information, visit the UNT Writing Center's website.
Yeah, it's
Welcome back in to Prove It or Lose It. I'm your host, Mackenzie Freeman, and we had to see Michael go, but don't worry, we have some more content for you guys, as the contestants will now have a chance to debate with each other. The discussion at hand is going to be related to the NFL, so let's go ahead and get started. Our first question for you, Isabel, is who is the biggest NFL draft bust of all time?
I gotta say the Raiders quarterback Jamarcus Russell, I think it was. I think his coach said himself, no, not the coach, the owner of the team said himself that he did not want him on his team. And being that, you know, he did not like to study plays, he didn't like conditioning, any of that kind of stuff, I'm not surprised that he didn't last very long on the team.
Yeah, that definitely sounded like a Johnny Manziel type answer. Ruvarache or Donovan, y'all have any players that you were thinking about?
I was going to go with Johnny Manziel because he had all the hype coming into the NFL and everything, and he just let partying, having fun, just mess up his career. He wasn't studying any film. He was just out there being lazy.
I was actually going to agree with her and say Jamarcus Russell. So because whenever he was drafted 2007, he was the first overall draft pick. So we thought he was going to be the bomb. And he had the highest contract at that time, was $68 million contract. And I would say the reason why he was a bust, he only lasted about 3 seasons. And with that, he has had terrible work ethic to the point where they would send him the plays. And then they'll ask him, hey, did you watch the plays? And he'd be like, oh, yeah, I watched it. Come to find out, they're sending him blank tapes. So he was never even watching the plays. So definitely Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, I definitely expected that answer. But moving on, back to you, Ruvarache. Who is the greatest NFL tight end of all time? There's some good ones, so I'd like to hear your thoughts.
There are some good ones. So before I answer, I just want to put my respect to like Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, Shannon Sharp, and Tony Gonzalez. They're all very great. But when I'm talking about tight end, I'm thinking about, if I see definition of tight end, who would show up in the dictionary? And I think that's Rob Gronkowski. He was a force to be reckoned with. It took 4 people to just take him down. He might not always catch the ball, but when he did, no one's taking him down. He's super strong.
Yeah, and then Donovan, Isabel, y'all have anything to add, or y'all agree with her?
I'm gonna agree with her. Rob Gronkowski has 4 rings with Tom Brady. You can't sleep on Shannon Sharp or Tony Gonzalez. They were both great in their own ways, but with the how we talk about winning, you got to go with Rob Gronkowski because he has the most rings out of both of them.
Yeah, I definitely thought it would come down to Rob Gronkowski. Now, Donovan, your question is it more important to build a great offense or a great defense in the current state of the league?
What the great Ray Lewis said, defense wins championships, so I'm going with defense. Without defense, you can't stop the run, you can't stop the pass. So then if you always getting scored on and your offense is mediocre, you won't be able to win any games.
And then Ruvarache, Isabel, anything else y'all would like to add?
I mean, being that the defense are the ones that make all the plays, that the offense can't really play unless the defense fumbles, I would say defense. And being that most of the Super Bowl champions in the last couple of years have had some of the greatest defenses in the NFL, that only adds to that. So.
Yeah. Ruvarache, anything you'd like to add?
When it comes to the NFL, and especially with today's time, I personally was going to say offense, just simply off the fact that I was reading some stuff and it was talking about the amount of winning of people with great offenses do versus the amount of winning of places with great defense do. And when you have somebody as crazy as Tom Brady, it doesn't matter how good your defense is, Brady is Brady, So things like that, I feel like it doesn't matter how